This is how I cut an onion. It's messy, takes a long time, and I cry a lot.
This sucks.
Failure.
I decided to change that and to learn how to cut an onion like the man Gordon Ramsay himself. So I started my learning timer and went to Gordon's YouTube channel. And immediately I encountered a problem. Gordon uses an already peeled onion, but when you go to a shop, the onion is not peeled, of course.
What am I gonna do?
So before I could continue, I needed to learn how to peel an onion first. And this is the best way I found. Step 1, you need to cut the tip off. Step 2, place the onion with its root facing up and cut it in half. Step 3, peel the outside papery bit and the first layer. With that done, we can finally go back to Gordon's video. While the video is really short, I had to watch it about 20 times to really understand what Gordon is doing. After the onion is peeled, the very first thing that Gordon does, he makes vertical cuts pointing the knife towards the root, and he tries to get as close as possible to the root. Also, he uses his 3 fingers, especially the knuckle of the middle finger, to guide the knife. Next, Gordon makes 2 cuts going halfway into the side of the onion, slightly tilting the knife upwards, 1 cut in the middle and 1 near the top. Then he grips the onion like a tennis ball and makes vertical cuts, dicing the onion. He keeps doing that until he's left with the base of the root. Lastly, he takes the base of the root and using up and down motions, he cuts it from both sides and the front until there is almost nothing left, just the root. And that's it. These are the 7 steps that I need to take, or you need to take, to learn how to dice an onion like Gordon Ramsay. Easy, right? Well, spoiler alert, it was not that easy. So I took my cutting board and began cutting. The first onion was a disaster.
What the f? Why?
This needs to stop.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But I did not give up and kept at it. Around onion number 5, things started looking up. I finally learned the steps to peel the onion, and my vertical cuts were getting better, although they were super slow. Sadly, my side cuts were not so good. As you can see, I almost cut myself here.
What are you doing?
Why do I do this?
So, along the way, I made a bunch... Stop. Along the way, I made a bunch of mistakes. For example, how to properly hold your knife. Initially, I was holding the knife only by grasping its handle. But the proper way is to put your finger and the thumb at the back of the knife and then wrap your fingers around it.
You want to put your finger and your thumb at the very back of the knife and wrap your fingers around it.
That way you have a lot more control over the knife. A blade should be an extension of your arm. Another thing that I learned is that you need to keep your knife really sharp. I know that is very basic, but I'm a cooking noob if you haven't noticed that yet. Also, to keep your knife sharp, you should use the blunt edge to push stuff from your cutting board, not the sharp edge. Lastly, when you're cutting with a sharp knife, you need to make sure that you protect your fingers and properly grasp the onion. This might be second nature for Gordon, but it takes conscious effort for me. In fact, I'm quite surprised that I finished filming this video and kept my fingers intact. All of these things were not explicitly mentioned in Gordon's video, but as an ancient guru once said, if you want to learn from experts, do not only listen to them, but observe them and do as they do. So when I was learning, I would try to watch the video by Gordon, and then I would try to deliberately imitate each step that he was taking. And then I would record myself and I would watch my recording and compare it to what Gordon was doing. What I was doing here is something that I would describe as
deliberate practice,
which is a great way to learn new skills. I made a separate video about it. See the link in the video description. But in a nutshell, firstly, you want to be very specific about what you're learning. Secondly, you want to be very focused during your learning process on the specific movements and steps you are trying to perfect.
Focus. Calm. Center.
And lastly, you need to get some sort of feedback on your learning. So for example, I was watching my learning recordings and then I would compare them with Gordon's recordings. If you keep doing that, theoretically, you should improve. And that's what happened. Around onion number 22, things started looking quite good. My vertical cuts were getting faster and my side cuts were less likely to cut me. Finally, on onion number 33, I felt that I have achieved my goal. So on the left side, you see Gordon Ramsay dicing the onion, and on the right side, you can see me dicing the onion.
Not bad, not bad.
In total, if we check track guilds, it took me about 10 hours to reach this level. I think it is very similar to how Gordon dices the onion in his video, and I'm very happy with the result. Of course, Gordon Ramsay was speaking and looking at the camera while he was dicing the onion. For me, it took all of my concentration and focus to even get close to his level and technique.
Trying is the first step towards failure.
So I'm definitely not at Gordon's level yet. On the other hand, Gordon probably diced thousands and thousands of onions to reach this level.
My first month in Paris, at the age of 22, I got my butt kicked for 15 hours a day, 6 days a week, chopping onions.
While for me, who, let's face it, is a total cooking scrub, it took about 33 onions to reach a comparable level. Hey, if you like learning about new things and want to improve the way how you learn, you should subscribe to my newsletter. Check the link in the video description. Also, if you are interested in learning more about
deliberate practice,
you should check this video out. Thanks and see you later.